Breaking Prince William just did something no future king has dared in 70 years. He flat out refused to attend the Prime Minister's event, walked away in full view of the world, and the reason why could shake British politics to its core. This wasn't a scheduling issue. This wasn't a mix-up. This was open defiance from the man destined to wear the crown, a silent rebellion against the government itself. And if you think this is just royal gossip, you're missing the earthquake beneath it. Hit subscribe right now, because what comes next could change Britain forever. Here's what really happened yesterday afternoon. Prince William was set to attend Keir Starmer's Commonwealth Day reception at Lancaster House. Over 300 guests were already there. Diplomats, ambassadors, cameras rolling, ready for the photo op. Then, 15 minutes before his arrival, everything stopped. Kensington Palace sent a message that stunned everyone. The Prince of Wales would not be attending. No warning, no explanation, no polite cover story, just a sudden boycott that left the Prime Minister's team scrambling to explain why the future king had just snubbed them in front of the entire world. The fallout was instant, the headlines global, and here's the part shaking the palace itself. Insiders are confirming this wasn't about timing, health, or travel. This was deliberate, calculated, intentional. William reportedly told his senior aides he couldn't share a stage with a government he believes is actively dismantling the very foundation of the monarchy. Those are explosive words from someone raised to stay silent, neutral, above the political storm. But the timing makes it even more volatile. Starmer's Labour government has been pushing plans to slash royal funding and give Parliament veto power over royal appointments. Ministers call it modernization. The palace calls it something far darker. A slow-motion coup against the crown. Leaked documents from last month revealed proposals to shrink the sovereign branch and force royals to seek government approval before speeches or international trips. And William's response wasn't subtle. He just said no, publicly, defiantly, breaking 70 years of royal silence. To grasp the scale of this, you need to understand working royals never make political statements. Ever. They smile, they wave, they adapt, no matter who's in charge. The last time a royal challenged a sitting government was during the Suez Crisis in 1956, and even then, it stayed hidden behind palace walls. William didn't hide anything. He boycotted a government event in front of the entire world, cameras flashing, diplomats stunned, and history being rewritten on the spot. The fallout was instant, absolute chaos. The Foreign Secretary, David Lammy, blindsided the Prime Minister, humiliated, and the monarchy suddenly louder than it's been in generations. Multiple insiders confirm the Prime Minister's office didn't even get an official notice about William's absence. They found out through whispers and back channels. That alone shows just how sudden this decision was and how deep the rift between Kensington Palace and Downing Street has grown. Cabinet ministers arrived at Laskin House expecting handshakes and photo ops. Instead, they were hit with confusion and humiliation. Foreign dignitaries kept asking the same question: where's the Prince of Wales? The government had no answer. Commonwealth leaders stood waiting, cameras rolling, while officials stumbled through awkward excuses. The optics were brutal. Commonwealth Day, meant to symbolize unity, turned into a live broadcast of constitutional warfare. And then came the bombshell. At 8 p.m. last night, Kensington Palace released a statement from Prince William, polished in tone but devastating in substance. He spoke about defending Britain's constitutional foundations and preserving the role his family has protected for generations. But one word changed everything. Independence. That single word was a shot across the bow, a message that the crown will not bow to political control. William didn't just skip an event, he drew a line in history. Legal analysts wasted no time pointing out what this really means. Prince William just accused the government of trying to turn the monarchy into a political prop dependent on Parliament's approval. That's not modernization, that's slow-motion abolition. Dressed up as reform, and inside Westminster the alarm bells are deafening. Labour MPs are panicking behind closed doors, terrified that Starmer has just picked the wrong battle at the worst possible moment. Princess Catherine's approval sits in the high 70s. William's in the top tier of public trust, and Starmer's numbers are sliding fast. Going toe-to-toe with the most loved couple in Britain isn't strategy, it's political suicide. Even Labour loyalists are breaking rank. One MP called it an unforced disaster, a gift wrapped for the opposition. Another said Labour group chats are pure chaos, full of panic, disbelief, and damage control. Nobody expected the royals to strike back, but they just did, and William's not standing alone. Sources inside the palace say Princess Anne and Sophie, Duchess of Edinburgh, are just as enraged by the government's move. Anne, who quietly carries out over 500 engagements a year without drama or spotlight, is reportedly furious at plans that would gut funding for working royals. And now behind those palace gates, real talk is happening, coordinated pushback, multiple royals considering refusing every government function until the proposals are scrapped. If that happens, the entire engine of British diplomacy grinds to a halt. State dinners depend on royal hosts. Diplomatic receptions require royal presence. Honor ceremonies can't function without them. The system only works when the crown and the government move in sync, and that partnership just shattered. The public has already picked a side, and it's not with Downing Street. Hashtags backing William exploded online overnight, and polls show nearly 70% of the country stands with him. Only 14% support the government, even among Labour's own base. Barely a third back Starmer. Those are political death numbers, and the opposition knows it. Rishi Sunak wasted no time stepping in, seeing the perfect opening to cast himself as the defender of tradition against a government trying to rewrite it. Sunak came out swinging, pledging full support for the monarchy and vowing to reverse every reform the moment his party takes power. Whether he means it or not doesn't even matter. It's landing hard. Conservative polls shot up 7 points in just 3 days. Their best number since election night. Starmer just handed his rivals the perfect weapon. But beneath the headlines lies the real danger. The monarchy and the government are locked in a code-dependent relationship. They can't survive without each other. The royals rely on parliamentary approval for the sovereign grant. The government relies on royal cooperation for every ceremony that gives Britain its image of stability. If this feud keeps burning, both sides collapse. If William pushes too far, he risks pulling the crown into politics and destroying the neutrality that protects it. If Starmer doubles down, he risks a constitutional meltdown that could destroy his entire premiership. Experts are calling it unprecedented, even dangerous. Britain runs on unwritten rules and quiet respect between crown and parliament. Once that bond breaks, there's no manual to fix it. The last time something like this happened was 1936, the abdication crisis, and it almost ended the monarchy entirely. Nobody wants to see what happens if history repeats itself. Professor Robert Hazel, one of Britain's top constitutional minds, just called this the most serious showdown between crown and government since World War II. He warned that both sides must find a face-saving off-ramp now before pride makes peace. Impossible. Once these lines are drawn in public, backing down becomes political suicide, and that's exactly where this is heading. But there's another layer to this crisis. The Commonwealth, Prince William has poured years into rebuilding those ties, seeing himself as the bridge between Britain and the 56 nations that make up the organization. 15 of them still recognize the British monarch as head of state. If he believes Starmer's government is threatening that legacy or disrespecting Commonwealth tradition, it explains why he's taking this stand, and he's not standing alone. Diplomatic sources say several Commonwealth leaders privately support him, seeing the crown as the symbolic glue that keeps the entire network stable. Weaken the monarchy and the Commonwealth itself starts to fracture. The pressure on Downing Street is intensifying, and so are the financial risks. Royal events ring in nearly £2 billion a year from tourism alone, and that's before counting the massive value of royal diplomacy. If senior royals start pulling back from public life in protest, the hit to Britain's image economy and influence could be devastating. Inside number 10, panic is setting in. Aides are calling it a full-blown disaster. Some insist this never should have gone public, that the palace should have been properly consulted before any reforms were announced. Others argue that backing down now would make the government look weak. Either way, Starmer is cornered, trapped between his Republican base demanding he stand firm and the political reality that he's losing this battle fast. On Tuesday, Parliament will debate the royal funding reforms. And that's the moment everything could explode. If Starmer pushes ahead despite William's protest, expect escalation. If he retreats, his own supporters will accuse him of surrendering to royal privilege. There's no good move left. William's already made. His silence would have meant watching the monarchy dismantled piece by piece. So he chose the fight even if it breaks every rule of royal neutrality. And now the entire future of Britain's constitutional balance hangs on what happens next. So what do you think? Was William right to step out of line and defend the crown, or should Starmer hold firm and finish what he started? Let us know in the comments, because this isn't over, not even close. Tomorrow we're breaking down Starmer's remaining options, and trust me, none of them end well. This is just the beginning.